my dream gig TV show is somebody to follow me across the country, and I can walk from Maine to California and like interview people as I walk from Maine to California. Like that's my fucking dream.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I walk 25 miles a day during the summer anyway, so it wouldn't even be a big deal for me to do it. It would just be me doing what I normally do, but leaving where I live. But even then, if the earth is flat, it doesn't fucking matter at all.
It makes it easier, really. True. You're not going to, it's not as much work on your legs.
I wish flat earth meant there were no hills. Look out. All right, here's Kyrie.
You said you're joking, and then you weren't joking. So which is it?
Okay.
Good start.
You know what it was. You fucking know. When he said he was joking, it was to get people to stop bugging him online. I've apologized before. You know, I've had to apologize. The only real way to fucking do it is to just be like, you know, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it.
It's easy.
Yeah. Don't say you're joking, though. Like, I think I was joking is bad.
That's hard.
Yeah. You said you were joking, and then you said you're serious. Why didn't he just stick with joking and then sit at home and be like, the earth is so flat? He's in public.
Well, I mean, hopefully after this, I'm done answering.
Good. Let's clear it up for good. You never have to be asked again.
For good. I mean, people are going to ask me regardless, but
I think this is really funny because now he's in the same situation now that he was in 2018 when this happened.
I mean, I'm just searching his name and the phrase flat earth on Twitter, and it's just constantly people are talking to this guy about being there's no living. He actually probably, instead of apologizing, he should have like tripled down on it and could have been like, he could have gotten like speaking gigs or something. He could have written a book. Oh yeah.
One of my dreams in this whole world is like I'm telling you all my hopes and dreams, I guess. One of my ideas.
That's the power of the apology, really. It opens you up. And
one of me and Brett's ideas very early on was to make a website for Street Fight that is a libertarian website where we just say that we're libertarians, and it's got all this info. We would record a couple, like 2 or 3 fake libertarian podcasts, so that if you click the link, it would play a libertarian podcast so that we could get hired to do libertarian conferences and then goof on them on stage. But very lazy when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But I think it would be so fun to convince people you're a libertarian and then do conferences and fucking.
Yeah, or even just like upload the same episodes, but with just like different title, different SEO, and send it into libertarian podcast world and see, maybe they'd be into it. Maybe you could just trick them that way.
Patriot Takes is like a really stupid, like it's like a making fun of liberals, but like, or making fun of conservatives, but in like a really crummy, not funny way.
Like the libs of TikTok guy, right? Like it's
Yeah. No, it is it is there. It's like the Krasensteins if they were doing like The Onion.
I was about to say it seems like something run by the Crass. It says they're partnered with Midas Touch, and I recognize that name. I feel like that's like Krasenstein adjacent, maybe. But that's
It
one of
is.
those like what is it? Occupy Democrats, which is run
Yes.
by like a different set of identical twins from Florida, apparently.
No.
Which is
They got in trouble last week. Occupy
really?
Democrats did.
I didn't. What did they do?
They didn't apologize
Oh, okay.
because they're so like they don't care. But they what they did was they outed somebody's daughter, a Republican politician's daughter, and or they had been outed, and they started like hitting her with shots for like being like gay and having conservative parents.
Right.
So people were like, that's inappropriate. I don't think you should do that.
Yeah. The Krasensteins are apparently in like a big like Bitcoin scam thing right now, or some sort of NFT thing, which is like the least surprising thing ever. But it's like a website called like BitClout. And
I've heard of it.
that's their big thing right now. Yeah, I need to kind of delve a bit deeper into it because they really fell off the map the past like 2 or 3. Did they get banned from Twitter? Am I missing things? They did. Okay.
Yeah, they got caught making extra accounts.
Right, because they were like pretending they were like posting as their wives or something, which is so good.
They were also,
guys.
I think they were also like responding to themselves, you know, where they were like, oh my God, Brian Krasenstein, you're fucking crazy for that one. Right. And it's like him doing it.
Yeah.
I love guys like that. Is like that is like one of my favorite kind of Twitter, like huge, like they always have like 6-digit number of followers, but they're following 7-digit amount of people, and they fucking have a bunch of different accounts to gas them up all day. I love that.
Yeah,
that is
that, or
smart.
when like a politician replies to themselves with like a sock puppet account. But like forgets to log out of their main account. I think there was that one guy from like Pennsylvania, I want to say, who replied and was like, yeah, as like a gay black man, I really do support all this shit. And like,
yes,
that needs to happen more often.
That's such a conservative guy thing to do, to say you're like a gay black man on the internet where nobody could say it, but they're like, the libs won't question it.
Yeah,
at all.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Street Fight friends and family, how you doing? Staying strong, keeping on and on. That's what we need you to do. We need you to come back every week and tell us your tales of turmoil, of wonder, of joy. Give us a call. It's a free-for-all. 614-655-3887. That's the number you want to dial. Talk to Brian and I. Ask us advice. Tell us a story. Sing us a song. We're here until 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do it every single Sunday night. It's a Street Fight call-in night. It's happening on twitch.tv/Street Fight Radio. Go over there. Hang with the gang, act orangutan. You know, orangutan. They changed the name on that on me, so I can do the rhyme as well without feeling like I'm saying it wrong. But if you want to not do that, you can just listen as a podcast. That's how most people do it. And the top tier podcast listeners head over to their Podbean areas, their pod raters, and they give us 5 stars and tell people about it. And then if you want to keep this thing rolling, you want to make sure that these Columbus hillbillies can keep rolling. The Clampets from Columbus can be supported by heading over to patreon.com/Street Fight Radio for bonus content from the illustrious Brian Quinby and his sick and disgusting mind for conservative content.
Yep, that is. I am sick. I'm actually sick. So,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
probably fucked the whole thing up here. I probably shouldn't be sick, to tell you the truth. This is 3 weeks old. Took 2 COVID tests 3 weeks ago. They came back negative. I was like, well, I must not be sick.
My
And
Lord.
then-
I mean, you cannot even get COVID to save your life.
No. I
You had
didn't
so
have
many other
COVID.
sicknesses besides COVID, I feel like.
Well, and then I don't know. Every time I was taking a lot of fucking ibuprofen because I was like, fuck, I'm getting headaches all the time. And I'd be lifting and getting headaches. And I'd be snotting all over myself and getting headaches. And I was like, man, I must have just picked up a lot of snot recently. Is like what I
Okay.
thought. Like that I turned into a guy that gets snot, which never been one. Never. I blew my first snot rocket 2 weeks ago ever in my life.
Oh, that's so sad. You didn't have a dad?
I just didn't have a lot of snot. I didn't need to. And I
Oh, my
suck it
dad-
down
my-
through my throat and spit
Ugh.
it out of my mouth. That's how I handle snot. But
My
anyway,
dad would fire one in a bush if he had to. And it would get fucking dangly on his mustache. A little green worm would be hanging off.
yeah, so I thought I was just I just became a snot guy, which is
Right.
not it's not a real thing. I mean, my wife
Your
uses
body started
tissues.
hoarding snot.
Yeah, well, my wife uses tissues constantly. We always gotta have tissues around the house. There's always tissues everywhere. So I thought, like, well, maybe I'm her now. Like now I'm a guy that has to carry around tissues or whatever.
Addicted.
So, yesterday I was like, okay, I'm gonna go take a walk. I don't know if I feel right. I'm not gonna work out, but I got close to the gym. And I was like, I can just go do a workout, go
Yeah.
do
Hop
a
in.
leg day.
Hop
It's
in
not-
and pump.
It's not your arms. You know what I mean? It's like it was just a leg day. It didn't feel like a big deal. But when I got home from it, I was like, well, first of all, the craziest thing. Gwen sends me a text and is like, my phone speaker's broken. And, I don't have the insurance on the phone because I'm not a fucking rube. I know they ain't gonna fix the goddamn phone,
Yeah.
like I know they're not gonna fix the phone. I know it. I've tried it too many times. Never works out. They're like, oh, that's not actually covered with, whatever the phone thing is. I go, have you tried getting the gunk out of it? Because that's usually the problem, right? You like look down at the bottom of the speakers and they're just chock full of gunk.
Mhm.
And she's
Pocket
like,
lint.
I blew in it. And I was like, no, dude, you got to take a toothpick to that fucking shit and like really dig it out. She's like, I don't know. I don't see any gunk. So I'm like, okay, when I leave the gym, I'll stop by the coffee shop and I'll take a look at your phone. I fucking get there. I get the phone in my hand. I restart it and the speaker's working again. And I'm like, dude, every single time something happens with your phone that never happens, turn it off and turn it back on. And it's such a high percentage of the amount of times that it fixes your phone, because all electronics have to be rebooted sometimes. Your phone just can't always be on and not develop issues.
It grows weary.
Yeah, it fixed it. So I go home and play Legos for a bit while I'm waiting for her. It's like, you guys want to go to they want to go to the arts festival. I don't actually at this point, because I feel horrible. I want to lay on the couch and sleep and just not do anything for the rest of the day. But instead, I go to the art festival. I walk there. I walk around the fucking thing, and then I walk home. And then today I woke up and I was like, I couldn't even sit at the table and do Legos. I am just so sick from not listening to myself over and over and over again. But
it's a terrible idea.
I did do something yesterday at the art festival, because I had the family with me. I bought art, first of all, which is
congratulations.
Yeah, but I actually didn't buy it for me. I got Legos, but Gwen got art.
Hey.
And
I mean, support some local artists sometimes,
From El Lego, yeah. Well, I didn't walk around talking about how everything costs $350 either. That's like, everybody there is like, I mean, the first thing I heard when I walked across the threshold of the art festival was, I mean, why does it cost that much? And it's like, oh my God. And you hear it the whole time you're there. The whole fucking time. When normal people get around art, they freak out about how much it costs. One, and two, they wear the craziest t-shirts in the world. I don't think I've been in a general audience situation in 2 years since COVID. Like, hey, like I guess we did the 4th of July last year, but man, was I noticing t-shirts yesterday where it was just like,
any highlights?
What?
Any highlights?
There's one that said wife for the woman and hubby for the man. And on the back, it said married 19. And then on the wives, it said since 99. So they could walk together.
Yeah.
And you can
like
get
a
the
billboard.
whole idea.
Billboard of love.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I dig that.
I think the most shocking thing about t-shirts in person now is how many people buy the computer generated t-shirts.
Yeah.
I think that's the mind-blowing thing to me, is that, like, we see those shirts and people will post them on Twitter sometimes and we'll all goof on them and shit. And, look at those goofy shirts. Everybody fucking buys those shirts. Everybody. So,
they're amazing. Yeah. They're wild.
The phones just went down, I think. Did the phones go down?
The night the phones went down.
That's the night that the phones went down on Street Fight. They should.
Yes.
They lost our sound. They lost the sound in the room. I'm looking.
Now they're saying it's back.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, it's good that it's back. But yeah. So the moral of the story is, don't just imagine every sickness is COVID, and then when you don't have COVID, why don't just, if you're sick, you're sick,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
I never believe in, ever in my whole life. And the next time this happens, I'll do the same fucking thing. And but
it's, maybe look into how bad it is. Maybe
it's gotten real bad. Just
you don't want to stress yourself. I mean, you're allowed to be restful. You're allowed to all mammals do it.
I went down today. I did actually.
You ran yourself to the point of exhaustion.
Yeah, I had to watch a movie for a podcast I'm doing this week. For Have You Seen This? Actually, is the podcast I'm doing. They made me watch. They wanted me to watch a Gen X movie.
Fun.
So I watched SFW. By the way, I'm an expert on Gen X movies since I was a teenager when they were coming out. And loudest movie I've ever heard. And then I started to think, and I was like, all these are the loudest movies anybody's ever heard. And it's not like a movie with violence in it. It's not like guns and airplanes and shit flying around. I love that. It's just like the music back then was so much louder than it is now. Like I saw the Jurassic Park movie at a theater this weekend. Very stupid. Everybody should see it. I saw it at the theater this weekend, and it was quieter than this movie that I watched.
What do you mean by quiet? The like banging pots and pans, talking loud?
They were playing Guar was one of the bands in it. They were like playing
or part of the plot.
Soundgarden, and everybody in the movie. Jake Busey's a big character in the movie. Everybody in the movie is screaming. Everybody. Nobody in the movie talks like normal. They all fucking scream.
Sounds like a rock club. Sounds like a dope rock club.
Yeah. Well, I liked singles when I was too young to even understand what the movie was about. I was like 14, but like single people in Seattle, Washington. Single people in their 30s in Seattle, Washington shouldn't have appealed to me, but I think I saw it 7,000 times.
You probably learned a lot about life.
Yeah, man, what a weird time. Gen X it's weird. The generation thing for people my age doesn't like actually work, because like I have been both called Gen X and a millennial. 1979 is when it is.
Someone said Xennial too. Someone made up that word.
Oh, really? Is that the new one? Zoomers?
Xennial is like straddling the line.
Of course, yeah. Yeah,
you're Xennial.
That's me. Because I'm 43. I was born in 1979, and then they always tell you when you are who you are, and they're like, well, you know, if you were born in 1978, you're this back thing, and if you're born in 1982, you're this thing. You're Gen X or something. It's just like, I don't know, man. I'm a dude. I'm just a dude, man.
Man, just a dude trying to be a guy. I've had a really productive week, actually. I've avoided drinking for the whole week. Yeah. And have been getting up early and playing board games by myself, having a lot of fun. And so yesterday I went to the garage sales near me. So I have a garage sales update I have a garage sales story to tell you that's going to break your heart. A friend of mine said, hey, there's garage sales happening at 9. Some other guys invited me to go frisbee golfing with them at 10. And so I got up at 8, and I was like that person that was out at like 8:50. I was sitting in front of the house that I wanted to go to, because on the flyer, it said they had a video game console. And I'm like, all right, that's worth money always.
I just want to say, I don't like that it said, for me, it's like video game console really will make you a little, because it could, Souls. Okay. I thought you were saying just one console, where it's like they could have just said which one it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they should be more specific, but they just put down a couple of things. So I show up to that house and there's nobody outside, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so I see another sale right across the street, and I walk over there and I start looking around. And then, you know, a couple minutes go by and I see this dude in the house behind me, the one I was going to. This dude like throws the front door open and comes rushing outside and just puts a fold-up table out, right? And then like his wife comes out with a baby on the front of her, and they're just like dragging shit in boxes to the front of their yard as fast as they can, which made me laugh because I have done that before with Charlotte when we like could not get up early, but we said we were going to have a yard sale, so we just scrambled to throw all our trash in the front yard. So anyways, he comes out. I see this guy behind me turn around and walk over there, and I need to work on my killer instinct. I was too casual about it. I finished up looking at the sale, and as I started to walk over, I just see him holding this huge stack of PlayStation 2 games and PlayStation 3 games and a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 3. And I hear the fucking guy say, honestly, man, if you can just take all of it, I'll make you a deal. Like, I'll make you a killer deal. And I just wanted to die inside because that damn old man got it instead of me.
Well, you think he's giving? He's selling it too? Do you think? Like at a store? He probably got a store.
He was like a 56-year-old man. Yeah, he it's the same kind of. It's what I'm going to be in 20 years. I mean, it's just dudes that can file through trash and make it into treasure. That's like, you just have to have a mind and an eye for it. And yeah, that's all it was. I'm sure it was. But you know what I also do? I mean, also I loved it because, like, I mean, a lot of people say, like, I don't want to have a garage sale because I want people like in my shit. And I always thought it was like, come on, it's just to make money. But now I've been going regularly, and it really is like inviting someone into your life for like a little bit. Like all the trends, all this shit you gave up on, you know, the upgrades you had in your life to your first, all of it. And I don't know, I love going out and talking to people. People, just decent people, are so fucking weird to me.
Yeah, everybody's fucking weird. That's what I was saying. That's what I mean, those the people at that art festival, it was just like, I haven't mixed with Gen Pop in a really long time because I just was like all over everybody's shirts. I was so busy with shirts and getting mad. I was getting mad, like, and I shouldn't have been mad because the Columbus Art Festival is pretty good. It's not like a junky art festival or anything, but like the people that like just paint Iron Man and like the horseshoe, the Ohio State stuff, I just don't know why I get infuriated by that. But then I think in my fucking carny mind, God damn, that's probably good money. That's the guy that comes to this thing and fucking makes a boatload of cash because he paints Iron Man, you know, over and over again. Iron Man as Brutus Buckeye, Superman, Batman, like Superman hanging out with Batman. Like, I wish I like the pop culture stuff, man. I'm like a pop culture guy, but like, could it be about literally something other than superheroes and Mario from Nintendo? I saw one piece yesterday that was like a pop culture reference that I think because it's at a permanent gallery, I think I'm going to go back and buy it. It is a painting of Scott Steiner cutting the promo where he does the math for how much of a chance he has in the three-way with Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle. And it has the promo painted on it while he's doing it. And I'm like, it's still, for me, it's still a little bit on the nose, sort of like, it's not like, I don't know. I like the promo, but it's still like pretty mainstream for a guy like me, like that promo, but it is still TNA. So it's like, most people don't know it. And I might have a little Scott Steiner piece in my house, but I didn't buy it. He was like, he told me, he was like, you know what I do is if I need some money, I just paint a picture of the Macho Man and it sells in like 2 seconds.
Smart.
Yeah, like guys like me are so stupid because I remember when Homage, the t-shirt place in town, started selling wrestling shirts. I was like, it's all fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. I don't want that shit, you know that. And it's like, but that's what people want. Like real people want. They don't like want a Chris Hero shirt.
Oh yeah. Oh, I also here's some other garage sale advice related to that. If you see a garage sale that has one of those like Bosu balls, like those yoga balls that are actually an office chair, you should just pass the garage sale completely, because those people are suckers and like they do not have valuable shit. They just only have like sucker shit.
They're as seen on TV, bros.
Yeah, they're just the most popular. They are subject to the worst of trends. Basically, do not buy anything. They buy stuff that is immediately worth half its value.
None of that stuff is worth shit though. Like I would think
Bosu ball,
not a Bosu ball, but you know what I mean. Like
No, I'm saying that's the indicator. I'm saying that's the indicator. If you see one sitting in their yard, the rest of what they have is probably like the most
junk.
probably the
on the nose junk.
Iron Man DVDs. They have Iron Man DVDs. Yeah.
God, I mean, that should be worth something because people were all largely off DVDs at that point.
Yeah. And then
I actually
advice.
Okay.
Also those indoor herb garden sets that they sell, those little like machines that you put the pods in, everybody's dumping them. There are ways to fucking
They're out.
There's just every single one has one. Like just go drive around at 6 p.m. on a Sunday and there'll be a ton by the edge of the fucking road.
They're done. They're out. It's over.
They never
we don't do that
worked.
no more.
You can do it in a pot. If you need a fucking if you need a whole apparatus, like it's just not for you. You're not a green thumb.
Yeah. Man, I mean, like, I wanted to buy like several pieces of art, but like some of the stuff was like, I felt like a hack. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I should have bought the Scott Steiner thing. Everything that I almost bought was something. There was one thing, right, that I really thought was like cool. And it was Chucky and the Bride of Chucky, but it wasn't a painting. They were like figures that somebody painted and then put on a little stage, like a diorama.
Yeah.
But I'm not like a Chucky and the Bride of Chucky fan. Like I just liked it.
This sounds like an art carnival or like carnival art. This sounds like what you're describing for me here.
No, there was a lot of really cool looking stuff. It was just that stuff is like $16,000. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't think I can afford that. Like I looked at a lot of very beautiful stuff.
I tell you, there's people close to you that are making stuff that's usually affordable if you want to get something that's like original and, you know, yeah. I mean, I went to one and met this dude, Flipco, and he like puts clowns in front of like plaid and shit. And I fucking love it. I love clown stuff. So I bought it and it was like $100 and it's fucking amazing. It looks awesome. And like, you know, Wavy can hook you up with a painting for cheap.
I have one.
He does
hanging in my house.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, people do think it's expensive when you go to places like that. There is a little bit of like, there's a lot of people that are just like, I charge this amount, and there are whales. There are like people with a lot of money that go to these events and maybe do want to drop $14,000. But you know, I mean, it gives them a place to offer that shit. Them fucking
That's
sculptures,
true.
those outdoor sculptures that they're just like $39,000. You're like, oh, sure, yeah, fuck, yeah, like on my Amex Black Card, please.
Yeah, I did have some news though. Yesterday, I on the way home, we were starving. Had to stop and get something to eat. Stopped at a place that it just sounded good. We were walking by it called Nada, which is it's a nice Mexican restaurant. We get in there. I order my food. It had habaneros in it. I had two dishes last night with habaneros in it.
Okay.
And
it gave me that. It unlocked the power to pronounce it correctly.
Habanero.
Yes.
So I had wait, no, it was only one dish. I'm lying about the two. I was gonna say the queso had habanero in it, but that's a lie because all three of us were eating it, and there's no way they would have eaten it without complaining. And I'll say this about my habanero experience. I didn't complain at all about it. Period. Wow. Oh yeah, I just ate the shit. You know, it was so fucking hot. And it did have a little bit of flavor. I think that flavor was mostly the carnitas and the tomatillos. But I was like, oh, that's pretty hot. You know, I kept saying, oh, that's pretty hot. And they didn't, unfortunately, with these fancy restaurants, they don't give you a bottomless pop. They just give you like a Mexican Sprite for $5.
Yikes.
I bought a bottle of Sprite for $5 last night.
Can like at least offer 2 liters.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
2 liters for the table.
For me, only $5.
Yeah, just for
me.
I mean,
fine. Listen,
they could put it in a champagne bucket, and you could pour your own glasses of it.
I'm sure Mexican Sprite is like good or whatever. I can't tell the
Yeah.
difference between Mexican
use-
Coke and regular Coke and Mexican Sprite. I think they're the same.
They use
thing.
agua. That's the difference. They use agua.
Yeah, I could not, absolutely did not tell any difference. And a glass bottle, look, I'm drinking out of a glass bottle right now. I don't have a problem. But I'm not impressed by this glass bottle. You know, it doesn't impress me at all. It's not
Really?
worth, it is not worth $4. Because what it's like a glass, a 12-ounce glass bottle of Sprite, that's worth $1.19. You
Yeah.
know?
Someone hand blew that glass.
So some fucking motherfucker at the restaurant is like, oh, we can get $4 out of that. We can get $4 profit out of that.
Primo.
Yeah.
This is for these gringos have never had this shit.
And people don't even know this because I don't talk about it very much because I always get grief for it. I have like what I call a two pop dinner and then a 1 pop dinner. Now, almost every night is a 1 pop dinner, you know?
Uh-huh.
Currently it's Diet Pepsi. I bring my Diet Pepsi out with my dinner. I drink that. That's it. It's the only pop I'm going to drink with my dinner. Okay? Now, if I'm having steak, that's a 2 pop dinner. You know, this is just a lot. You know, you get the whole steak with all the fixings. You're going to do a 2 pop dinner. Now, last night with those habaneros, that was a 2 pop dinner. If I was anywhere else, I would have been like, hey, you know, refill this. $5 for free refills? Fine with it. That's cool with me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Free refills. The Mexican Coke is the biggest ripoff in the world. So anyway, they go, I eat it, I make it through, I feel real good, I walk home, I'm still feeling okay. Everybody's taking a shower and stuff, and I sit and do Legos, and I drop one on the floor, and I have to get down on my hands and knees on the floor to search for the Lego that I had dropped on the floor. I got a rug under it. You know, it's very hard to find them when they fall because the rug's different colors. So you have to feel around with your hands. So I'm down there, couple of minutes, and the shit starts to come back up. GERD.
Yikes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Spilling.
And worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. Some of that habanero came back up and got in my throat. It took an hour before it was like I was able to just be normal and relax because so
it's great to let you know you're alive, makes you feel alive. Also, I always feel like when you have super hot shit and it's super hot out, it's like, you know, it's not as hot as my fucking tongue is right now outside. So I'm fine hanging out on this patio outside. Also, I wasn't complaining until that happened. Like, I thought it was all good and everything. But once that happened, it was just like, I don't know. I probably shouldn't have had a habanero. Somebody in the chat said I'm saying it wrong. So then I switch back to habanero. But I just am like, and yes, the other thing I want to say, Rachel Atwood in the chat says sugar versus corn syrup. They taste the same. Sugar and corn syrup to me taste exactly the same. I think I've never had like both of them together. Like I've never had a spoon of corn syrup and a spoon of sugar. But I will say this with 100% certainty that I could take a Mexican Coke and an American Coke. I could pour them in a glass, and 100% of the time people wouldn't be able to know there were two different drinks. There is zero difference. Exactly the same. Anyway, I've moved on to Joe Tea. I'm a Joe Tea guy now. Okay.
Half peach tea, half lemonade. That's Joe Tea. If you live in New Jersey and you can mail me some Joe Tea, because I'm trying to get my hands on the grapefruit lemonade.
and also the black cherry lemonade, and basically all the lemonades, and they only sell them in 6-packs. And I don't need 6 of them. I just need 6 of them. Like I want 6 different bottles of the Joe Tea. You know, variety
Sure.
pack. They don't sell a variety pack.
Okay. Can people trade in Joe Teas for old treats that you're done with?
Oh, my wife threw the blondies away. They're gone. The blondies are gone. I do have a couple of Almond Joys when I thought I was headed to Almond Joy treat.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, I'm not into it. I'm not into Joe. I'm not into the tea. I am into Joe Tea. I'm not into the Almond Joy. I have a few like 100 grands left from when I thought I was heading in that direction. That didn't work out. And then I have some cinnamon treats that also didn't work out. I'm into caramellos and Reese's cups now. Well, actually Reese's sticks, but I couldn't get the sticks today because I had an old thing going on. But sticks.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Before we take calls, I did want to tell one quick story, a triumphant moment I had yesterday for parents. I went to a kid's birthday and they got a blow up and they got an obstacle course, which, let me ask your opinion about this real quick. I thought bad idea because it's just an obstacle course. And then after 30 minutes, like, what do you do? Right.
Yeah. I've always felt that with obstacle. They would have to be a mile long before it was something that I would enjoy.
They fucking loved it. They went haywire. It was good. It was a good purchase.
You know what let me ask you this. What would you be, man? Oh, I just thought of one now. The Eliminator. If they would just have a traveling eliminator. Do you remember the Eliminator from American Gladiators? That's the last thing you had to do. Now that I would do over and over. That's something I would do. You know.
So these Ninja Warrior gyms should have an eliminator.
Everything. There should be an eliminator in every city that you can just fucking test your strength in. I mean, honestly, you could do all of the gladiator stuff.
This is everywhere now. I was thinking it was the tennis ball thing.
No, that's assault. That's called assault.
Oh yeah, the eliminators. Yeah, you can go to Ninja City. You can go to. There's all kinds of goofy Ninja Warrior gyms now.
Oh, okay.
It's all this stuff. It's so fucking hard though. Those places are like. Some of those are made for like extreme athletes. Like I went to one of these Ninja City gym things and was just like, I don't have the arm strength to just like take pegs out of a wall and then put them in a higher place, you know, pull myself by one fucking arm and peg walk up a wall. Like, no, I'm a dad, not like I don't have time for that shit.
That shit's too hard. The Eliminator isn't. I mean, the American Gladiator stuff is like a lot easier than the American Ninja Warrior shit's impossible. The American Gladiator stuff, I used to watch it as a kid. And it's like you run up a conveyor belt that's going the other way, and then you climb a net. And like it's like basically gym. If there's a rope, I'm fucked. But other than that, I could probably do the whole thing.
Yeah, I did that Tough Mud. I did the rugged. We could do one of those rugged games things. I'll do that with you. It's the same thing. It's pretty close.
The Tough Mudder.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I loved it. I had a really good time.
I got to get in shape-o.
Yeah. It was a lot of arm stuff, but you can go right around, and a ton of people go around. It's like all fun. Everybody's having a great time. You get to do all kinds. They had. I loved that thing because they had a giant blow-up slide, but like adult size. I mean, to the point where like you were going downhill and I was like starfish and was like, had no controllers. It was this shit. It was like the best slide I've been on before. It was so fun.
Yeah. That's the thing about like cause I did that one thing a long time ago, at a water park, you hold on to the like handlebar basically, and you go down the wire. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, what is it?
Yeah, I think they're zip line. They got them everywhere now, but you hold on to and it's like you go down the hill, and then at the one I did, you just drop off over the water, and I thought that was fucking really fun, and that's also part of the Eliminator.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like everything I've ever wanted to do is on the Eliminator.
And you're right. In this day of pop-ups and like just taking old abandoned warehouses and transforming them into Instagram experiences, Eliminator experience probably has legs. I think that you could get something out of that.
I mean, because normal people can, if you did an American Gladiators pop-up experience, that was all stuff that normal people could do. I mean, you obviously you might get blown up or you have to be a little fit, but like, if you could, like, you guys went to that happy thing, you've gone to those pop-up experiences. If you could just go to a place and play Breakthrough and Conquer, or fucking the ball thing where you run and throw the ball in and shit like that. Like, if you could do something like that, that would be fucking fun, man. I would do that in a second.
Just to help the person who's writing the business plan down right now, also use like local like Instagram fitness people to be your gladiators.
Oh God, if they had gladiators, I was just thinking me against you.
There's a jump rope girl. There's this amazing like United States jump rope girl in Columbus that would be perfect for like shooting tennis balls at people.
Okay. I got to get this to happen. If you could get the American Gladiators pop-up experience. Yep. And you could just compete with like 6 of your friends. That's a fucking escape room I would do. Like, that's not an escape room, but that is a concept of a thing that I wouldn't shudder when I go to leave the house to do, you know?
You gonna pay $90 for that experience?
I would pay $180.
Okay, I'm with you as well. I agree. Most people shudder at that stuff. I mean, people are always like, gosh, it costs a lot to go to a race. And you're like, they have to bring 25 cars. They have to pack them up on trucks and drive a whole crew and do it for 3 days. Yeah. There's like 30 fucking guys out there standing next to those cars.
Yeah. Things are expensive because things are expensive. That's the main issue.
Shit.
Yeah. I go ahead. You go.
I was just gonna finish my story.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
It's fine. So anyways, there was an obstacle course there, and so none of the adults got really, it was so hard to do it as an adult. You really got caught up, and like kids had it way easier. But I immediately figured out this trick where I could jump off of the top of this hill and completely land or jump over the next obstacle and miss it completely and land right in the hole to the exit. So I ended up beating a couple kids, and I ended up tying. Never mind. I didn't beat any kids. I could only tie. I would leap and jump over, completely go over the obstacle. I tied all the kids. Then the birthday boy, who was the smallest, and it was the easiest for him to get through everything. I tied him twice, and on the last time, I jumped in the air and I landed in the perfect way where I could just kick, donkey kick, and fly out the end of this obstacle course. And I beat him, and he started fucking crying immediately. It was the shit. It was the fucking shit. Parents win. Parents have power. Stop telling these kids they're superheroes, because the parents we're stronger and mightier.
Yeah.
No, but I also I make them do the racing code, which is if you're going to race, you got to accept defeat. You cannot expect to win. You're not allowed to expect to win. Only if you earn it do you get to fucking win. And if you don't earn it, you have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah. I do want to, before we get to the calls, Brett, Nitro from the American Gladiators, he has a podcast. So I'm going to check in with Nitro this week.
Fun. But the kid did end up changing his mind and saying that I was the best at it.
Yep.
Which was a growing moment for him, because he had never admitted that anyone was bigger, better, and badder, and stronger than him before.
Yeah.
That was a growing
kid on his birthday. It's hard. They don't understand also. Can I say this? They don't, kids don't fucking understand that, it's hard to convincingly do the job for them. Right?
Yes.
To let them win. It
feels awful inside.
Yeah.
I can't run this. I don't run this slow.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm trotting. I'm fucking trotting. Look at you running full speed. You can tell I'm trotting.
The hardest part of pro wrestling
Yeah.
is like jobbing. It is
Mhm.
like
Right.
selling. Basically,
Yep.
is the hardest. They all say the hardest part of pro wrestling. The greatest pro wrestlers learn to sell better than everybody else, and like it's a skill, and it's really hard to do. And I've never been able to. I mean, kids won't necessarily be able to tell, but then sometimes they'll just be like, I can tell you're not trying. You're like, well, fuck, dude, if I try, I will destroy you.
Yeah.
So I don't have like I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you gotta
impress
beat
them
them.
instead.
You gotta beat them. I mean, these kids don't get a
Sometimes.
free ride. Yeah. Time to grow up.
Also, there was another kid beat him and then came up to me and said, hey, he quit as soon as I won. And I was like, I mean, it's his party. He can cry if he wants to. That's
they
the
love
fucking
doing it.
rules. They do it. Go for it. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
They love
one
doing
last
that.
thing.
They love winning.
One last thing. Greatest shit I've ever seen. 2 kids on one of those big RC cars, like a Power Wheels thing. One kid has the pedal. The other kid has the wheel. The pedal kid won't let up. The wheel kid is just recklessly moving it back and forth. And they slam right into the drink table, and it's fucking like juice and cups and like Sonos radios flying everywhere. It was the fucking shit. It was hilarious.
That's very fun. And then
I got
everybody has to yell for like 1 minute and then, be like,
No,
"Oh,
everybody was
okay."
cool with it. We fucking laughed it off. Everybody thought it was fucking funny. And we just made sure they didn't get soaked in juice.
Yeah, that's
I was
funny.
surprised because I was surprised it wasn't a problem because I feel like I got my arm ripped out of my socket for doing that, at someone else's birthday party.
I got taken home.
Yeah.
It's like time to roll.
All right. You ready for these calls?
I am.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
Oh, is this me?
This is you.
Oh, God. Oh, yay. Cool.
Hey, you
I
made
don't know if you
it.
like an echo. So is this where yay, I did. So this is where I think I'm supposed to say long time listener, first time caller.
Coolio.
You can
I
say that for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never
All
had,
right.
we don't get a
I
lot
guess
of
because
people
it's
that
true.
say that to us. We don't get a lot of people that say that to us.
Oh.
So it is actually
okay.
flattering to hear it. I feel like a radio guy.
Yeah, I did too. First time, long time
well,
it
you
is
are
like
kind
a
of, right?
honorific, a leftover honorific from the radio.
Radio days, right? Okay, so this is Rachel, and what else am I supposed to say about myself?
You
We don't-
got it.
There's mostly anonymous. Some people are anonymous. You don't have to.
No rules. There's no
Yeah.
rules
I'm
on this
Rachel.
show.
Am I supposed to do like? Okay, am I supposed to do like she, her? And
Works
where
for
else?
me.
What?
Yeah. We should probably do that. We probably should have that.
Where are you from?
Okay,
Where
I
you
mean, I
at?
don't know. I think.
Not from.
Well, where I'm visiting family in Western Massachusetts. I listened to your show as a podcast for years and years. Particularly, I'm just visiting the States. I haven't really lived there for the last 8 or 9 years, and your show, was kind of background noise for a lot of my travels. And I didn't even think I would be here now, but it time ran out, and I owed the folks a trip back.
Yeah. You couldn't say I don't want it. Where are you coming from? Like what country?
Well, I was living in Ukraine for the past 5.5 years till this spring.
Oh. Yeah, they're gonna make you
and
come. They're gonna
so,
want
yeah,
you to come home.
My parents. Oh, I'm still going. I've made sure to buy a round trip ticket. I'm heading back at least to Germany next week. I left late in the day. A few days after I left Kiev a few days after the war started with a backpack and a couple of cats, but I'm here
Wow.
and hoping to go back and get my stuff. Actually, where to begin to talk about something that is useful. But again, mad props to all the expats and foreigners who call in at like fuck o'clock in the morning on Mondays. I am not
Yeah, it's cool.
as strong as they. Am I allowed
We
to
appreciate
swear?
it. Yeah,
You
go
can say
wild.
yeah.
So Okay, so just saying, relevant to stuff. I was not really. I think I'm pretty American, but there's things I miss, like these escape rooms that you're starting to like obstacle courses for kids versus escape rooms for adults. That's another thing that where I was, there was not recreational weed for sale, unlike here. Actually, with the medical marijuana is quite likely being fast-tracked, basically, to deal with people, dealing with immeasurable pain from the war, which talk about disaster capitalism. But yeah, right next to the weed shop that I go to here, there is this massive adult escape room that says "Welcome to the Matrix." I don't really understand what is this for. Like, what is the purpose of? So,
it's goofy.
Again,
it's a
like I
goofy.
said, I think I'm pretty American, but I've lost a lot of things. Certain things
It's,
are way over my head. Yeah.
Okay, it works for Groupons. It's also a way to take over a little office building or a little area, and you just set up a room that's locked and has clues and puzzles in it. So it's kind of like playing like a text-based video game, like in real life. Except usually you do it with a group of people, which is kind of the fucking weird thing, because I've heard of people doing it with like their coworkers, and then someone, as soon as they lock the door, someone is immediately like, I can't breathe in here. I can't breathe in here. Is there a way to get out of here? Someone like just has a panic attack out of nowhere. I've heard that from several people now, that like as soon as they hear the lock clink and they're stuck in the room, they just can't handle it. And then people get real fucking weird. People change, and
they get
confrontational,
competitive. It's basically like these kinds of things. One of those kinds of things where work thinks, "Hey, this will be a great team building exercise. We're gonna go to this escape room and we're gonna escape," and then they ended up getting competitive. Somebody wants to be the leader, or 2 or 3 people want to be the leader, and then they start yelling at each other. It is basically a thing that people do with work. And Brett also pointed out that it is a thing you do with groups of people. So you can't really do it alone, because if you do, they'll just put you with somebody else's group.
Well, and I'd also say just also real quick, based upon what we were saying earlier, that expendable money, like the millennial people, your average person, they want to pay for experiences. So people get tricked into like these new trends of new things to try,
So is it like corporate rope courses, except you want to make sure that everybody hates each other immediately instead of like in a couple of weeks? Is that basically it?
No, escape room does not include ropes courses. The ropes courses they want to offer training that's for people that watch Ninja Warrior and want to go and train like that. People literally that want to go to the gym to learn how to do Ninja Warrior stuff. Or climb. A lot of it's integrated with climbing is really popular right now. Exercise. People like,
sure.
I don't know, in an effort to get people to work out, they're trying to get them to do anything besides, like the old school stuff, because that doesn't work for everybody. Yeah, tightroping, slacking.
Tightrope's a big fucking thing now. They actually have one at the park I walk by now. They got a tightrope. The slack, I guess, is what it's called. Every time I go by there, there's kids doing it. But I think when the summer's over and I'm out on my walk, I'm going to teach myself how to do that. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah.
Cool.
Looks fun.
A good idea. Fuck yeah, man. I love it. It's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So outdoor park gyms are the best. I'd say the more. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
So it was, you got out as soon as stuff started happening there. Was any of the stuff happening near you?
Well, I could say I was long gone by then, but my neighborhood, my home building was somehow spared. Luck of the draw. Some of my neighborhood buildings were shelled pretty bad. I don't know about my neighbors if anybody was still there. And the main shopping plaza up the street that was pretty new was blown to smithereens because stupid Russians thought that it was hiding like soldiers. It's like it's hiding those kids' toy, like again, it's hiding those kids' bouncy rooms and like El Dorado, which is the equivalent of a Home Depot. It's like, I don't know, and a gym. So, and the equivalent of a Cinemax. There's not tanks and missiles in this place. Also, a metro stop that had been, in theory, going to be being built for like 20, 30 years and was actually going to happen maybe this year. And now it's totally from scratch. Yeah, I was gone by then. I left Kyiv like the first full day of the war and left Ukraine about a week later than that. But I kind of left slowly and in sorrow. But
do you want to go back?
I mean, Kyiv is itself. I do. I mean, I'm heading back to Germany next week, and I'm hoping to kind of slowly make my way back east. I don't know how long I will stay there, but I mean, God bless them. My housemates have even made their back to Kyiv just because their home village in the Northwest doesn't really have anything going on, like work-wise. But I don't know how long I'll stay, but yeah, I want to, and I don't know, that's my whole life. And
that's what I always wonder in situations like this, like how much of it is apparent, how much of the place where is it apparent that something's going on, and how much of the place is like, I don't know. Like when I think about something like this, like me and Brett have been to protests that seem like the center of the fucking universe, you know, the J20, when Trump was being inaugurated. It just like there's all these people here, and it feels like everywhere is going. If you extrapolate that to everywhere, right? And we were we've talked about this a few times, but we were standing next to a limo that was fucking on fire, and the cops were throwing flashbangs at people, and there were bikers out there starting shit, and we looked in a window, and there was a woman just running on her treadmill like it was just like her normal fucking day, and it was such a fucking eye-opening experience to me that I was very curious about like how it hits you, you know what I mean? Like how does some because again in DC it's a not as rare of an occurrence as it is here, you know? Yeah.
Sorry, just to interrupt. I'm remembering actually maybe you've seen it. I'm sure people have. There was in Myanmar a few years ago when their latest coup attempt where people like soldiers are from, I guess, the army, that's like a renegade sort of force of army, are marching through, what is it, Rangoon? Yeah, the capital, and there's this lady doing aerobics and yoga and filming herself for a class, and it's all over YouTube.
It's so weird.
The capital of Myanmar. Yeah.
Because it's so weird to think about that, because it is like there are people like when you say Ukraine, when you call into this show, like in my mind, the whole place is on fire. You know what I mean? But there are people that are just living their lives too. Yeah, I believe it.
I mean, I think, Kyiv is, I mean, even those fuckers definitely even like put some bombed Kyiv quite recently, but I think it was mostly just like a flex. It was, I mean, and just to destroy the people who are already, you know, on edge. It was just a giant fuck you because they could. I mean, it's a lot of people have fled to the west of the country who can. I mean, also generally because men of military age can't leave. A lot of them who are not military adjacent, their wives and children have gone abroad, and they've gone to places, particularly a lot in the west of the country, ideally southwest, center west, just to be out of the fighting zone. I mean, at the same time, if they have, again, it's an IT mecca of sorts, which is why so many international companies have big offices there, and that's why I always have work. But it's just saying that, a lot of people are making do in other parts of the country. I mean, The South and the East are in really, really bad shape, as was probably always the goal. But I mean, I don't know. It's all pretty messy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's just a
But
real
I mean,
like.
I was putting it nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like heartbreaking stuff. I hate how like I don't know. Like regular people it's the regular people that get stuck in this. And when you say people fled, right? Like if something happened in Ohio, I wouldn't know I wouldn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't know how to flee. I think it's like what I'm trying to say. It's 4 hours to Canada, but I don't have I guess like if they were taking us in, I just think about like the fact that regular people had to figure out how to flee to me is like that's the stuff where I start thinking like I don't know how I could handle something like that. Like I guess people just like kind of go into overdrive. But like it's also that thing where it's like I don't even know anybody anywhere. Yeah. I know more people other places than most people, but I don't know anybody where I could just be like, I'm coming to move in with you because Ohio's under attack.
Yeah, it's funny. The person that I did count on to live with, like an old friend of mine, flaked out after a week and a half. So you never know. Even the people that in Prague, where I've spent a few months, so even you never know if you're weird and the people that you are connected with are weird. Sometimes they might just be that much weirder and kind of leave you high and dry. So there's always that.
What made you want to leave? I mean, when did you leave the U.S.?
Leave what? Oh God, most recent 2014. I mean, I lived abroad from like 2006 to 2009, and I don't know. It was just I was tired of watching the toilet bowl swirl around or whatever, however the analogy goes. But
I can see it.
Yeah. So came back. I promised my parents. I brought a couple of cats back with me, so they're adjusting.
How are you seeing America? Like now that you're back, you've been gone for a little bit. You're back here. How you liking it?
Yeah, well, it's wild. I basically missed the entirety of COVID. Last time I came to visit was early February of 2020, just in time to say hi to Michael Brooks and thinking I would have many more years to say hi to him again. But I guess that at that point, funny, we actually grew up near each other. We probably met as kids like many times, and I just never remembered it. But who knows? But yeah, I guess that was just when COVID was a vague idea about China and so forth. Like from the sound of it, it was more like the U.S. didn't take threats from Europe nearly enough, as they always do.
We ain't gonna listen to nobody.
That Europe is safer for some reason, even though, well, for obvious reasons, but that are based on nothing.
We were locked down for like 6 weeks, or 6 months. I would say we were relatively not locked down for like 6 months, but people were still partying in Florida and stuff like that. I mean, we never really did a lockdown here.
Oh God, I remember that. I'm in Western. Yeah, I'm in Western Mass in a college town, and I remember again listening to your show. A couple different people calling in that had students in my town, trying to figure out how to study online or how to manage if they're finding housing here because they didn't want to go back to their small-minded families and so forth. And again, I was thinking like, man, if I were local, I could put in a word or something. But again, that was
it was a weird
over 2 years ago at this rate. So
yeah, that was a weird, crummy, weird time. People had to leave. But Rachel, I want to thank you for calling. Is there anywhere anybody can find you? No, you're good. It was fun. Is there anywhere anyone can find you, or do you want them to leave you the fuck alone?
I'm on What's that? I mean, I'm always on Twitter. Like, I'm on Twitter way too much, just at Ricattywood. So
All
if you
right.
wanna bug me there.
Well, it's
by
good
all
to
means.
hear. Be safe.
Oh yeah, thank
out
you guys
there,
for having me.
please.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will.
Thanks for
Yeah.
Great,
calling.
thank you. All right,
Peace.
absolutely. Great. Have a good one.
Man, that is.
Isn't it? It's. I'm sorry. I had my kid came home in the middle of that, so I had to go help. But it's always so crazy to me when like really smart, cool, interesting people actually listen to our show and like it. I just am flabbergasted every time.
I just can't believe. Again, the fleeing thing is very difficult for me to consider. You heard me saying that, like, I wouldn't know how to flee.
Right.
I mean, like, if this part of town, if I had to flee, if Columbus came under attack, I would just go to Groveport. Be like, is it safe over here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where to go. I don't know how. Europe, I think, is a little bit like, my daughter has a Norwegian friend who talked about how, they can get all over Europe, and they have friends in like a lot of different countries. And I think, people who think globally like that, who have been out of the country and shit, like, I think they see it as a little bit easier than like us who are just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of this fucking country. Truly, it's too expensive.
Yeah, it seems pretty hard.
That's right.
All right, next call. I'm just next call. Hey, welcome to Street Fight. What's up?
Hello.
Howdy.
Is it me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, sweet. Hey guys, it's Lucas from from Ohio originally, but calling in again from Wyoming.
Tight.
Love it.
Wait, you're living in Wyoming? You worked at hold on, I got it. A resort in Wyoming?
Yep, I work for a luxury guest ranch resort in Wyoming where we have very wealthy clientele, and it's very fun. Like a couple weeks ago, I was listening to an episode of Street Fight where you guys were shitting on private jet owners, and I was literally in the car waiting to pick up some clients like out from their private jet. And I was just like thinking about the irony of the situation.
I don't hate private jet.
Yeah.
Here's how I feel about private jets. I don't understand them.
Okay.
I guess my point is, why fucking own one? It seems stupid. You hear about people who I'm quickly here. You hear about people who are every person like me and Brett, every rednecky guy hears from people not to ever buy a boat. Like, and it's generally people who probably already got to have a boat. And they're like, oh, you gotta fucking, you gotta dock the boat. You gotta winterize it. It just costs more money than you would ever have, than you should on something like a boat. Jets are that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say that jets are like, I mean, there's plenty of them. Just rent a jet. You can rent them. You can charter jets. I don't understand why, other than just to own stuff, I don't, as like a status symbol, it makes people seem stupid when they buy one. Like I know it doesn't matter because they have like kind of basically unlimited money. But when I look at them, I'm just like, you're fucking stupid. Like, just rent the fucking thing. And we should have less jets flying around. Fucking John Travolta
I agree,
shouldn't be
100%.
allowed. John Travolta should not be allowed to have that airplane he has. He shouldn't. He just shouldn't be allowed to fucking have it. He hadn't even made enough good movies to get that. But anyway, he should, people shouldn't have them.
Mike Tyson did have to punch somebody in the face on an airplane recently.
Okay.
So they would be bothered.
All right, I'll give you this. But you can still rent them if you're famous too.
Yeah, you
The
can still
famous
charter
clause.
them, and like to me, it makes more sense to charter them. Like I worked for a while on yachts and sailboats down in Florida, and yeah, I found out that like they're basically just money pits. Like if somebody buys it, like they make no money on it unless they're constantly chartering it out for a lot of money. and most people who own boats don't do that. So most people who own boats are just losing money. And with planes, I'd imagine it's the same way. Unless you're chartering it out constantly, then it's probably not worth it to own it.
Yeah, and you can't use it. You like, if you're chartering it out constantly, I always think about with those vacation homes that people put on Airbnb. It's like, if I want to go stay in my cabin. It's cabin time, baby. Oh, there's somebody already there, sort of thing. I wouldn't like that either. Yeah. If I could afford to have a vacation home,
most of the houses on Airbnb are actually owned by companies. Like there's like companies that go around and they buy all the houses as they're built and as they come in the market, and then they lend them out to Airbnb, and it's like a big scam. And a lot of times, like, they will cancel on you at the last minute. And I don't exactly remember how it works, but they're able to make money without giving you the room by canceling at the last minute. And like Airbnb has to pick up the tab. And it's been a while since I read about it, but there's a lot of scams that go on with Airbnb, and all of the experiences I've had with Airbnbs have not been pleasant. But that's just me. I've heard great things from other people. But
I see
personally,
it as
I just would
neutral.
rather stay in like a dumpy hotel or motel than an Airbnb in most places.
I see it as a neutral. It's bad for the neighborhoods it's in and stuff. But as far as a staying experience, it's neutral, because hotels, you can't like do your dishes and laundry and shit. You know, there's like drawbacks to both. The real issue with Airbnbs that is like bad is like people are really bad at like setting them up, like hospitality. It's like the cheapest possible stuff, but yet we're still trying to make it look like a home. Okay, so it'll have like live, laugh, love signs all over it, or they'll like have not have cable but have a DVD player, or it's always some weird shit going on when you get in them. But I mean, yeah, it's like a neutral thing with hotel. Like hotels are also a pain. Checking into a hotel is the worst fucking feeling in the world. I watched a movie today before checking into a hotel became like, can we hold on to your credit card, when you could just walk in with cash and tell them you're somebody else and stay in the hotel. And I was just like, oh, I would love that. Yeah. Because now you can't even do that with gas, you know, or with cash. You can't just walk in and be like, here's a bunch of cash, give me a suite. They don't let you do that anymore. And that's Joe Biden, really, I think. Probably. So how's it going in Wyoming?
Britain, I guess, right, guys. But
yeah, that's what
he's
always doing.
Really well. It's been wetter year here than usual, or at least a wetter spring here than usual, which is it's an exception for the West this year. Like the West is in a huge drought this year. So it's been really nice that we've gotten more water in our area than we have in years, like more snow and rain. But I think that period has just ended, and that now we're going into the real heat of the summer. And there's already, even though there's still snow melting on the peaks, there's already a wildfire nearby that's starting to haze up the valley. And it's very unfortunate, because the deterioration in air quality, it's like even when you don't consciously think about it, just like subconsciously, it like brings you down and makes you a little sad, like having the haze and smoke around.
Yeah, it's wild.
Because I wanted to offer my services to help Brian plan a vacation to Montana or out west, because he said he wanted to go. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, you said you were looking at plane tickets and they were like thousands of dollars. And that was great. That sounds absolutely crazy to me, because I flew from Cleveland to Missoula for $300 a couple of years ago. So that sounds absolutely crazy to me.
Brian only puts most expensive option. He's the only person that clicks that button that says sort by most expensive.
How dare you? No, you know what though? Brett said something on a show not too long ago that resonated with me about maybe trying a different airport. Like being like, oh, I'll drive up to Cincinnati, down to Cincinnati, go to that airport, and maybe it'll be cheaper. But but I didn't type
Are you
most
looking for direct
expensive.
flights, or are you okay with layovers? Like, if you're willing to fly to Denver, like from Cleveland to Denver, and then like have the layover there, and then fly from Denver to Missoula or Denver to Bozeman, that's probably a lot cheaper than if you're trying to find a direct flight.
Well, I think I also fucked up because I said I wanted to land in Big Sky, and not for any reason that I think Big Sky, Montana is fresh, but just because the name Big Sky, Montana is like kind of what I'm going there for is the skies. So I just, the name was just like, oh, okay, that's where I should go.
Yeah, Big Sky is basically a private airport, so that's why you basically be chartering a plane to fly there.
Oh, okay, because it was like 15 grand, and I was just like, I can't. Going to Montana, that I would love to do it, but $15,000 is too much.
Yeah, you're gonna rent a car?
Yeah, no, you gotta fly. You gotta fly into Missoula or Bozeman. If you fly into Missoula or Bozeman, I guarantee you it'll be much more affordable. And then, what time of year are you thinking about going as well? Because like the fires, if you're planning on going in late summer, the fires will make your stay not nearly as pleasant, and the sky will not be visible if you're going there for the Big Sky.
I mean, I'm like autumn. That's what I'm thinking. I would like to go there. Autumn in the fall.
All right.
We want to see those damn northern lights. We want to see the northern lights, which I don't know what they are actually. So, but it's something my wife wants to do, and I want to go to Montana, and I want to go out in the middle of a field and scream as loud as I can, because it's like a thing I've always wanted to do. You can't really do that here.
Like a Garden State moment.
Is that in Garden State?
Yeah.
I guess.
Sorry, I didn't even make you feel bad. It wasn't bad. I love movies.
It must have
I love screaming too.
It must have sunk in my brain because I always think like, what if I went out to the country and stood in the middle of a field and screamed as loud as I could and looked up at the sky and nobody would be like, what's wrong with you? You know?
Yeah.
Like that would be great.
You need some country friends.
Yeah.
He's
but
gone
I haven't
country.
I don't leave.
I also wanted to aside from offering my vacation planning services to Brian, I also wanted to tell Brian about a show with Mormons in it. It's not about Mormons, but it includes Mormons, and it's my favorite show personally. It's called The Expanse, and it's like the best sci-fi show ever made. It's fairly new.
I watched a lot of it.
They just did their final season, but it's very fun because like the only religion that shows up in the 23rd century in The Expanse is the Mormons, and like they're not like mean to them. Like, they're just there. So it's very fun. Mormon cameo throughout the show.
They're the only one that planned for Z News.
Yeah.
existing.
Well, I watched it because they get celestial bodies, Brett. I'm learning so much. I'm watching the FLDS doc now.
Somebody was very pissed off that they drink caffeine. They drink caffeine all the time. Apparently, they wanted to correct you and say that Mormons do drink caffeine and have chocolate all the time.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay,
they're frustrated that you're tarnishing the name,
tarnishing the Latter-day Saints. Well, I apologize to all the Mormons out there that are offended by me being curious. And also not reading anything and just watching documentaries on TV about the craziest Mormons.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, The Expanse I have actually, if I went into Google right now and typed in the author of The Expanse, I bet you it would auto-complete to, is he a Mormon? Because I looked that up. Because I watched it and they kept saying the Mormons were out there floating in a spaceship. And I was like, damn, the Mormons, they don't get added to much. Well, now they do. They're all over the place. I like to think I'm a little part of that.
Well, it was very cool because it made sense that like the only people who would be willing to fund like a colony ship that is going out into space indefinitely to find new worlds would be like religious people who have faith in it, because if we're in a future like The Expanse where capitalism still exists, it's not profitable for any private corporation to go out looking for other planets, way out in the distance. That's not going to make them profits next quarter. that's like thousands of years from now. So the only way it makes sense is to have like a religious group make their colony ship.
Yeah, they want to go meet, because when you die, you get to be a god of your own planet. They want to go there and find those planets so they can be with the people. Probably I'm filling that in my brain. It could just be that they wanted to put Mormons in the show, but I just thought of that. But yeah, I like The Expanse. It's good. I've seen most of it. I stopped watching because there was an episode where they were on some planet too long, and I was like, I can't do this.
You got bogged down.
Season 4. Yeah. Well, season 4 they were on the planet, and it was like a western, like that season.
Yes.
But if you get back into it, the final 2 seasons are more like the middle seasons, like seasons 2 and 3, where it's very there's a lot more tension, and it's more like a space war again, instead of like a western. And it's worth it. It's a very good show. It had a good ending. Like I was very, very happy with it, unlike Game of Thrones.
I will get back on it then. I will do it again. It's the only space show I've ever liked. So that is it.
That's a big honor.
Well, thanks for calling.
Other update
thanks for your advice.
Before I leave, I just wanted to. Oh, you're welcome. Before I leave, I just want to say gas just hit $5 a gallon here in Wyoming yesterday, and I just want to say, like, I don't know what the frick it's gonna take for people to like want to tear shit down in this country, but like I can't afford to live, man. Like shit's hard.
It is. I don't know why nobody's doing anything. Well, they say they can't, which then it's like, well, what are you in charge of then? What are you doing? That's the thing.
I mean, there was a very swift interaction happening like to the pandemic. I mean, we're allowed to make up the fucking rules to this thing. Why don't we just do like an American Rescue Relief Act right now? You know,
that's what I'm trying to say too, man. Send us fucking couple $1,000, you dingus. You know, they're like, we can't do anything about it. And it's like, well, what do you think we're doing about it? What do you think we're trying to do about it? Anything to get out of it. I want to fly to fucking Montana. It's $15,000.
Yeah, and inflation right now, like if it stays at this rate, it's like losing a whole month of pay, basically. Like on top of everything else, you're losing a whole month of pay.
Yeah,
you're spending.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks for calling in. We will see what we can do about the gas prices.
We'll try.
Me and Brad.
Thanks,
we
guys.
say Street Fight Radio did that and then like just stole from the gas station.
Yeah.
Held up. Paid off the gas station person so that we could just hand out free gas.
Yeah.
And then Street Fight did that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. We should, like I said, what needs to happen is, like, I know that, like, they're not going to do it, but if the Democrats just sent us like $5,000 each right now, people would be a Democrat forever. But they're never going to do that because they see that as cheating.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to get out of this shit.
They're not going to.
Yeah, I'm worried. Very worrisome. All right. Oh, we have last call. I mean, you can keep calling in. We got time.
You can give us a shot.
I shut off the queue at 9 and like 3 people jumped out. So if you're one of those 3 people, we have time.
Okay. And
Thanks
if
for
you're
calling
letting us
Street
off
Fight.
early, that also works. Sorry.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Hello.
What's up, Brett?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Good. Murder Brian, guess what I just got done doing, Murder Brian?
What'd you get done doing?
A long walk.
How was it? How long
Awesome.
you go? How many steps?
Like an hour 45 outside of Cleveland.
Oh,
Not bad.
sick.
Hey, that's probably what I'm trying to think of how many miles. It's like 4 miles. That's not too bad.
All right, it's no 7-hour walk like you do, but it's not nothing.
That is what I do. I
It's
mean,
impressive. A lot of people cannot do that actually.
yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not even doing it this year. I think the longest one I've done this year is 5 hours. Now I'm working out. I don't feel pressure to walk all day.
Smart. Frees up some
come home and
time.
play with my
I know,
Legos.
but now that you're working
Frees up
out,
5 or 6 hours a day.
now that you're working out, Now I feel pressure to work out.
Oh,
Yeah.
you keep amping it up.
You don't want to do that.
Brian's gonna start a box.
If you're obsessive like me, then yeah, I mean, might work out for you. I am starting to get muscles. Yeah, my arm's a little bit like, I'm like, oh, okay, look at that. It like bounces up. I'm not going to show you people.
Cute.
You know,
Sounds great.
I did watch that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, finally last night.
What do you think?
I own it now, by the way. Yes, I paid for it and I own it. I really enjoyed it. But I can't get out of my mind. Everybody talks about the hot dog fingers thing. I can't get out of my mind when her pinky was a really strong muscle and she flexed it, and it's like vascular and it has like a muscle, like a bicep on it.
Yeah.
I could not get over. I thought about that and I was just like, oh, I would do anything. Well, I would do anything for that. Just a real strong pinky, you know?
Right. Just take people down with one pinky. It also demeans them as you do it, you know?
Yeah. I like the musk. I like the weird effects in it. I thought that was really cool. Like,
it was fun. I thought it was just fucking fun overall. It's a little corny, the overall story, but it's fun.
I'll tell you what's funny about it. I'll tell you what cracks me up is, like, I saw it after the Doctor Strange movie, and what it did to me, and the Spider-Man, that last Spider-Man that came out,
Multiverse Spider-Man.
Yeah, what it did to me was, I was like, okay, so like the multiverse can be more than just like Spider-Man shows up at the same time as like another Spider-Man.
Sure.
All of my understanding of the multiverse before this movie was that, like, well, I guess all the guys that played Spider-Man can show up, and like the guy from the X-Men movie could be.
Yeah, Doctor Strange can pull characters from other movies into the current movie.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and it's cool with that Everything Everywhere All at Once thing, is they still do like pop culture nods too. Like, that was the thing. It's
Raccacoonie is like the best thing in the world.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, they did Raccacoonie, they did pro wrestling, like they did all of this like really neat, like doing pro wrestling as a fighting style is so funny.
Yeah, that's
like,
how they win you over.
Yeah, that's right away. Well, actually, what ended up happening was every time she did a move, I named the move. And then if somebody said it was, they're like, oh, she's going to do a backbreaker. And she started to spin this person above her head. I was like, that's not a backbreaker. And then she did a backbreaker. And I was like, you know what? They know their shit. That's a backbreaker. And it literally broke the person's back. And then drop kick. Now, there was one part of the wrestling thing that, if this is 2 years ago, I'm not giving them credit for. But now, because Punk does it, the top rope lariat. She did do a top rope lariat, which I would never believe somebody would ever do. And it's probably like an old 80s move or something. It's definitely an old 80s move. I just wouldn't believe somebody would do it now, but Punk does it now. It's like part of his move set. So it's like the wrestling moves were real. They did a good job with the wrestling moves. They did Raccacoonie and a few other like really neat things. Like, it didn't at all just be like, oh, you know, Michael Jackson's in this one. You know, there's a Michael Jackson that shows up, and it's a different Michael Jackson than, I don't know. They just, the Marvel movies, I'll tell you what. And I saw that Jurassic World this weekend, the new one.
Oh no.
It makes the Marvel movies look like they're for geniuses, like for the smartest people in town. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. 10 stars, by the way.
All right.
All
right. Also, actually, I talked about multiverse stuff on Ride the Tourist podcast like a month ago. Stupidly, we did not watch that movie, which would have been the perfect thing to talk about. So I have to come back and talk. But we did talk about like quantum theory and like multi-universe theory stuff too.
I don't understand none of. I didn't even know what it was because I knew that there were people that talked about it, but I never super like thought about it, you know.
There's someone on the phone, is there?
Yeah, we're just
Yeah,
we're
I'm
messing
here.
up his call currently. We're
Okay,
messing up.
sorry.
Hey, we're messing up this guy's call like we do
Yeah, this is
everybody's calls. You know?
Sorry.
Well, how was your walk? Where'd you go? You walking around Cleveland? Is there a lot of what's the word? Sidewalks there? Are you doing sidewalks or sides of the road?
I'm in Shaker. I'm in Shaker Heights, so we have sidewalks. But I'm from New York, so there's what are they called? Tree lawns. So I'm looking around the tree lawns to find good stuff that I can pick up for my kids.
That's actually Shaker Heights is beautiful. That's is it like a small town? Am I wrong that it's like one of those like idyllic small towns, or is there a mall there that I'm wrong? Because the last time I was there, I was like, what a beautiful place.
It's like an idyllic small town. Definitely no mall.
Whew. Because there's another part that has kind of the same name that I was a guest on a Bugmain's Cleveland show. Not the Cleveland show. I'd fucking have a lot more money if I was on the Cleveland show. I was on Bugmain's show. I would take that job in a second. I know you can all just be like, Brian's a hack. Yeah. But if fucking Seth MacFarlane came to me I would do as American Dad, the Cleveland show. I'm not even asking for Family Guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, I want Family Guy, then American Dad.
But then you're not going to be presumptuous.
Yeah. And also, maybe not even underneath the Cleveland show. I would also make an appearance on the Orville, since I know that's back.
Oh, you would go Orville. Fuck. Damn.
Fuck,
no,
dude,
I want to be
on
animated.
the Orville.
I want to get animated.
I do too, but
You're not picky. You're not picky. Not picky about when it comes to TV. Put me on any TV show. Not picky.
Yeah, I would go on any TV show except for like Tucker Carlson. It's like I wouldn't do any of the conservative shows that like a lot of leftists do or whatever, but I would 1,000% be on Young Sheldon. Like if they were like, Brian, and I'm learning so much about Sheldon right now because right before Dynamite comes on, Big Bang Theory is on before it. So I pop it on the TV and I see the last like 3 minutes of Big Bang Theory. Yeah, get some Sheldon time. And yeah, I know a lot about Sheldon. You wouldn't. This guy's a nerd, you know.
What?
He's also kind of a pain in the ass to his roommates. And he's like not lovable.
Okay.
At all. I didn't find Sheldon to be lovable, and yeah, I'm not a Big Bang Theory guy, but now that I've caught it on TV every Wednesday for like a year, earlier this year, I now find myself Googling lore from the Big Bang Theory to figure out what they're talking about. And then one day I read the entire plot of the show from beginning to end, like a synopsis of the entire run of the Big Bang Theory. And I finished it and was like, why did I do that? But, you know, it's something I was thinking about this actually the other day. Do you remember when that offensive show about Afghanistan translator, he gets over to America, and it's like a comedy show about with a troupe. There's like a troupe. Do you know what I'm talking about, Brett? Like the trailer for it came out and everybody got kind of mad about it for a minute.
What is it?
So it's a CBS sitcom about about a soldier who who builds a bond with his translator, his Afghani translator while he's over there, and then his Afghani translator has to get out of there probably for being the translator for the military, and he brings him over here, and then the show is about the comedy that ensues from him being here. And like
that's
people,
cute. It's like a Perfect Strangers for 2020s.
And people were really like offended by it when it came out. So I was like, this is probably one of those things like the Hulk Hogan movie that's never going to come out because like people were just like, you know what I mean? And it's still out. It's still on the air currently. We're talking like 5 years, I think. The show's still on the air. Yeah. It's still fucking on. Yeah. It was crazy because people were so United States of Al. Thank you. Rachel in the chat told us it's called the United States of Al. A-L. And what a fucking show, dude. Like,
I don't have the stomach for that.
Maybe I'll watch it for the bonus feed.
Yeah, don't steal that. All the podcasters, no stealing.
Yeah. It's crazy. I've never seen a second of it, but I was watching something recently and I looked up one of the actors and she was on, when I looked her up, I was scrolling through her other stuff to see where I knew her from. And she was on the United States of Al. And I was like, that came out? That ended up actually coming out? Holy shit. I guess they made it. They made it and it got enough. Like people were just like, fuck it, man. King of Queens isn't on no more. I got to watch something.
True.
And probably 30 million people watch it a week. That's the bummer about it. One of those like, 30 million or so people watch. It's like the Big Bang Theory. 30 million people watch it a week. They fucking love it. You know, my fucking mother-in-law called her son a Sheldon. Yeah. It felt like she was. Yeah, it felt like she was trying to. It felt like she was trying to call him autistic, is what I think was going on. Yeah, no. So, yeah. Sorry. Okay, now we'll stop cutting you off for real. This
we got more calls. We got a bunch of people calling in, dude. So.
Oh shit. Okay, now we have calls.
It's fast track after this.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you about the Pittsburgh Toilet.
Okay, tell me about the Pittsburgh
Toilet.
Do you know about it, Brett?
I have no idea. No
Pittsburgh Toilet.
So I was listening to a different podcast last week, which I won't name, but they told the story about a Pittsburgh toilet and made me think of Brian and his pissing in the piss hole in the basement. So apparently it's a toilet with no walls, nothing blocking it, that just sits in your basement open.
Yeah, it's just hooking a toilet straight up to the pipes. You don't have to do any piping or anything. Just a little extra shitter down in the basement.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
they're
great.
Fucking do that. I would get that. Yeah, dude. I want to. You got me on a Pittsburgh toilet now.
Yeah. I'm adding Pittsburgh toilets to all my rental properties.
A 7-hour walk.
Well, no, I mean, I only have one bathroom in this house. I have a teenager and a wife that lives here, and the three of us sometimes butt heads about the bathroom. I would not mind going downstairs and crapping in the basement. Like, I don't have any problem with that.
He's crapping.
Yeah, I'll go right down in the basement and you can like put a little sign on the door of the basement, like I'm crapping here. Yeah. And then they won't come down while you're doing it, you know? And that is great. Also, it wouldn't like stink up the living part of the house when I dookie, you know?
Yeah.
Because I crap up in the bathroom.
In the deep, dark basement. Scare all the demons away.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Now I'm looking at it. And
I was also going to...
You're good. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
No, I don't even remember what I was saying.
I was just gonna say that I have a misconnection story from Craigslist too, but maybe I'll tell you that a different day.
Yeah, we got more calls, but I would please call in and tell us a misconnection story.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. We'll know too.
Okay, I will.
Or you can just say it. Yeah. Don't
all right.
Just say
Yeah.
It. Yeah. We get it. There's a screener.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Okay, great. And I wanted to shout out my friend Snizzy. in New York City who turned me on to you guys. So Snizzigal, thank you.
Thank
Squibby?
you. Thank you, Snitty.
What is the name? Snitty?
Something like that. Yeah.
Sniz.
Snizzable. Sniz. Like cocaine.
Sniz.
Like the word I made up for
Like
cocaine.
a vagina. Like a vagina.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I didn't know that's what sniz was.
I-
I guess that's not cocaine then.
A guy named after the best stuff on earth.
That's Snapple.
Well, I love
A
Sniz.
girl.
We've got well-traveled world travelers, and then we got Sniz.
Yeah. Thank
So-
you. Thanks for calling. Thank you for calling, and thank him for turning you on to us. All right.
All right.
We're
It's a
it's
real
girl.
turn on.
Love you guys.
Oh, it is a
sorry.
girl.
Oh,
Phew, thank
for
goodness.
Pete's sake.
Okay,
well, you
that's
think
great.
somebody that names themselves after puss.
Yeah, Gina was probably taken by somebody she knew. It was New
Yeah.
York City.
That's cool.
Yeah, but also a guy named Vagina for some reason seems funny to me.
Yeah. Well, it's just I
Um,
thought it was like one of those like I'm gonna like if I name myself Diet Pepsi, but I get sick of
Uh-huh.
stuff so fast. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I can't really do that.
So yeah, that's your sniz. Is Diet Pepsi. All right,
Diet
thanks for
Pepsi
calling
is
Street
my
Fighting. Thanks for calling Street Fighting. Who we talking to?
Yeah, hello.
How's it going?
Hello? Yep, we can hear
Hey,
you.
what's up?
Yeah, hello. Oh, beautiful. What's going on, baby?
Not
a
much.
lot. Who we talking to tonight?
I got no clue what the fuck you guys do on the show. Zero clue. What you do? It just been
Okay.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
How did that happen, by the way?
I don't know. Probably
Alright.
just driving. Just people flip through stuff.
YouTube. YouTube-O.
Yeah, people just flip through. How's it going? I did like
Hey,
the way
me?
he called his baby though. That felt good
Yeah,
to
this
me.
is you. Who's this?
Hey, just a little public service announcement inspired by Brian. Wanted to know how to flee. First, try and get your passport. Just to have
Okay.
it,
I'm gonna do that soon. By the
And
way, I
then
looked it
second-
all up.
Yeah, you just do it, man. It's like a bit of a pain in the ass to go to the post office, but I just found out in Oregon, we're not going to have our driver's licenses are not real IDs, and so after October, if you've got like a still valid Oregon driver's license, you'll not be able to get on a plane until
Yeah.
you get it renewed as a real ID.
I have the real
So
ID.
I've got
now.
a fucking DMV appointment for that shit. Nice.
We don't have appointment, and we call it the BMV in Ohio. I don't know. People always make fun of me when I say the BMV. They're like, "What, the Department of Motor Vehicles?" No, smarty pants. It's the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Department
bureau.
can also mean bureau. Like,
Hey, listen,
they're
I'm
the
a
same thing.
bureaucrat, so I know all about the naming conventions.
Bureau can also be furniture.
Yes, but mainly it's for the Bureau of Motor Vehicles or the Ohio Farm Bureau, or we call things bureaus a lot
Right? It
more
could be
here.
a bureau.
Yeah.
The drawers of motor vehicles. They have lots of drawers filled with cards
I
assigned
like-
to our names.
Departments, divisions, bureaus, it's all good.
Yeah, I actually do gotta say, like, I looked into it and I was looking at the prices, and naturally I was like drawn to the book because it was a lot more expensive than the card. But luckily, somebody told me that you have to get the book if you want to fly somewhere. So
Yeah, I fucked up and got
Yeah.
the card only and didn't get
Yeah.
the book, and now I have to go back to the fucking book.
now you're gonna have
you
to get
could
the
basically
book.
only go to like Canada and Mexico with the card.
Or the Caribbean, but yeah, and the card
or
seems
the
so
Caribbean.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the card seems so great. Like it was just like it's a card that's much easier. I'm not trying to get stamps and shit. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I
guess-
I live in the Northwest. People go to people go to Canada for business, and so the card's fine for them. But like, if you got other shit to do, you need the book.
Yeah, if you want to go to fucking Norway or something, the only other country I know apparently tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just so I had to get an appointment at the DMV. I've got to bring like my birth certificate and all this shit that I had to get from my safe, and it was a pain in the ass. So I've got to do that to even domestic travel, and I should probably get my passport renewed. So just like, if y'all want to flee, you need to get this shit in order.
We do need to get our business handled. Although I don't think they'll let you jump on an airplane and get the hell out. I think when the conservative militias come through, they're not going to want us.
But
they probably would.
It's still
be
better
like,
to have the book than to have just a driver's license.
True. Yeah. The book seems nice. Like it looks good. It's good. The book's got a good
green,
look.
That blue leather, man. That's the coveted worldwide. You know.
Yeah, and they send it like it takes a while to get. They're like, try to get it 2 months before you got to go anywhere. It's like, fuck, dude. I don't know what I'm doing ever.
You gotta have the foresight.
But my daughter's going to France, so we got to get her one. So I think I think it's time to get them all. And at the post office by my house, they'll take your goddamn picture.
Get them all. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it. Let's get this fucking thing and flee, baby. Yeah. Go to fucking Norway. You know, we get out of here. Yeah. My daughter was trying to teach me a little bit about Norway, right? She's telling me because she has this foreign exchange student that just left. They were friends. She's like, the thing about Norway is their music is all like party music. And I was like, dude, one of the most notoriously hard to listen to metal is black metal, and it's also from there. They were burning down fucking churches over there.
The Eurovision guys and maybe she's listening to the Eurovision guys over there.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. Oh, that Eurovision stuff sucks, man. Ugh. People are always like, I'm watching Eurovision when it's going on, and I'm always like, oh, what is it? And then I watch it, and I'm like, I hate this. This is like everything I hate about music. Like actually, there is a new metal one. They had a new metal band on there for one of the countries, and I did watch that, and it's like really cleaned up metal. Like it's like, I don't know, but they like rap and do the metal and stuff. And that I said was I gave it an okay review, but like that Eurovision stuff is
it's representation.
It is metal. Thank you. Yeah. Well, thanks for giving us some more advice. We're getting advice tonight, Brett Payne.
I love it. I love advice.
Hey man, just here for the PSA. I love it.
Yeah.
Peace, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for calling. Ooh, mamma mia. Guys, it feels like somebody's doing the wrestling move where they put their fist up to the side of your head and squeeze. That's what it feels like is happening right now to me.
Someone's trying to crush your head with their fists.
Yes. That's the closest I can give you. And also there's somebody pushing on the front too. That's why I hate the sinus stuff. Because it feels like somebody's just going like this. Like right into your fucking right here. In your face. It just feels like somebody's pressing on it. And like, of course, when I'm doing the show, I'm fine. When I'm done, I am going to really crawl out of this room.
Okay. Let's get it done. Thanks for calling Straight Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, it's Hank in Los Angeles.
Hank, last
the whole world calls me Hank. There's one more.
Okay, second to last caller is Hank. What the hell? You're supposed to be hosting this thing. I'm sick.
You're late.
Hey, man, you just got to let me know, okay? Just put up the Hank signal and onto the sky, and if it's a cloudy day, I'll be there.
Well, how is it? How you doing, Hank? What's going on?
I'm good. Thank you. I called in. You said you needed some callers. I'll try to be quick. I hear you guys talking about exercising and walking, and I've been, you guys know I've been out of work from a workers' comp, and I'm in a workers' comp situation from my woodworking job. And during that job, it's basically exercising, like working out for like 35 hours a week. So I didn't really have to worry about exercise. I'd just be angry and exhausted all day long, and nice big muscles and stuff. Just kind of like you just naturally get. I wouldn't say I was in shape because I was eating myself into an early grave, but I still had a lot of nice muscles, and it's all been fading. It's all been going to hell, which is my pattern.
Yeah.
I don't like to stay healthy for too long.
I'm
So
with
I've been trying to walk. Yeah. So I have a little story I want to get your opinion on about a walk that I did today. I've been showing up for myself. Been getting up early, going on walks, trying to do some planking. Planking is a floor exercise I can do without my wrist. Yeah, I can't do push-ups because my wrists are fucked up. So I'm here. It's funny how the momentum builds. You start to sort of get into the habit, and you tell yourself this is going to be the time. By the time 6 months from now, I'm going to be hunky abs guy. I'm going to be shirtless, bending over shirtless in public at the beach.
Yeah.
That's the idea. I doubt
you can do that with any body though.
Brother,
what do you mean? Man? You can or can't?
You can.
No.
You can wear cutoff shirts. Any size guy can wear cutoff shirts. And also, I started unbuttoning the top button from my shirts now too. I'm showing cleavage.
For me, it's like it isn't happening. Like I'm just getting muscles 6 months into lifting weights because I started thinking about it today, and I was like, man, it took 6 months even to just start getting muscles. Because I'm not trying to be thin. I'm trying to be fucking big. Yeah. Big, tough, and hard.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, and that gives you confidence, and it could be part of a mental health regimen as well. You know what? You're very correct about you can take your shirt off at the beach in any body and bend over, but not when you hate your body like I do. So I have issues in that sense.
Well, brother, me too.
It's okay. I was t-shirt in the pool kid, one of those kind of like lifelong battles, and but I'm very confident naked in sexual situations for some reason though. That's always, once you get to that point, it's just like, all right, we're going for it. We're on the carnival right now,
That's the only time you're confident.
I'm not confident with either.
With your shirt off.
Those are nightmare. I'm not even comfortable in that.
Only if the equipment's working. That's a very uncomfortable nudity when you can't, provide.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, yeah. So I could talk about that for a long time, and I probably shouldn't. So anyway, I was walking this morning, and I was up kind of early. Like I'm now that I'm in my 40s, I wake up at like 5:30, and it's just like part of the aging process, I suppose.
Brother,
and,
I'm in my 40s, and
I'm walking at.
Well, I get 9:30.
Well, you're yeah. I would. That's fair enough. So anyway, I was walking this morning, and I usually keep to myself. I don't try to bother people, but occasionally I will compliment like someone's dog. Like somebody was walking by once, and the dog was like just a really good size. It was like 35 pounds, which is perfect for a city. And I said, perfect size dog. And I just kept walking. I'm like, kind of a little bit of a weirdo, but I'm not trying for that. Normally,
sure, it's a funny comment.
Give them space and try. Yeah. And I try to put out a nice vibe. Just keep moving. Don't make them think you're gonna stop. But anyway, so this morning, this guy was cleaning his car at like 7 a.m. and it was like a really nice Mercedes. He's out there cleaning it. They had the little like the canisters of cleaning schmutz, that he's sitting. So he's like out there really giving it a good sparkle, and it looked amazing. It looked really pretty. I'm not much of a big car guy. I play Rocket League. I guess that makes me a something of a car fellow. But as I'm walking past him, he's standing in the street, like on the, like on the driver's side, and I felt like maybe I should recognize his effort. And I just said to him, I just go, looks nice. And I gave him a big thumbs up. And I did it in kind of a little too enthusiastic, but not like out of bounds, like almost. And I expected him to like maybe look up and nod or like, hey, no, thanks. All right, see you. And I kept walking. He just goes, this was very minor. He doesn't even look, he doesn't even glance. His head, nothing about his body moves. He just says, thank you. And then he starts like beating on one of the floor mats, because that's what he was about to do. and at least he acknowledged it. That was okay, but it was then I felt awkward walking away. I just kept walking, you know. I just felt really awkward because he didn't. I don't know why I expected this guy to perform emotional labor for me, but I felt bad for like invading his little bubble. I was just trying to recognize how nice his car looked. It did look pretty good because cars in LA stay clean for about 5 hours.
I say thank you to compliments, and I don't say anything after that. People bother me all the time, give me compliments, and I just say thank you. So I'm on that guy's side.
I probably wouldn't even look at you. Really, I would pretend not to hear you, and then in my mind go, "Is this guy fucking making fun of me?" We're all different, though.
Those are all. Yeah,
it takes all kinds.
Yeah, it occurred to me like that. It does. It wasn't so much. I was glad he said thank you, and it was the not looking at all that it kind of caught me off guard, and I just thought that was kind of funny because I felt I wanted to turn around and be like, "I'm sorry," but that would have made things even worse for him. So I don't know. The car looked good.
Some people are grunts.
I'll send you guys a video.
Some old men. Some old men don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, I'm not that old though, but
I understand.
I get it.
I also my favorite part about the garage sale was waking up super early and bothering people like as soon as they wake up and it's fresh faced. It's like way different than hanging out with like the criminals that stay up all night long and shit. It's just like weird regular people.
That's also true.
And they
actually,
they will tell you everything. You never know what you're gonna get with them.
Yeah, Gen Pop, general population, normal mainstream people. They're nuts. Well, Hank, thanks for calling. We got to get our last call in here. We got to get that last call. So
all right, guys, have a good
pass out.
I'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.
Right.
Cancel Geppetto.
Okay. Who's Geppetto? From the TV show?
From TV show?
Movie. From the movie?
I wonder what Geppetto did. All right. Oh shit! No, I almost hit drop on accident. All right, I didn't. Last call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hi. Yes.
Hello.
Grayson from Orange County, California. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Hello.
How's it going?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. This is Grayson from Orange County, California. I am not. I'm going to try to make this not too long. Quick before I give you the very helpful piece of advice that I came to learn. I actually got to go to the AEW show in LA at the beginning of the month. I was there when MJF gave that promo where it felt like, and I was even telling the people behind me in the row behind me, it almost felt like an MJF face turn. It was kind of bizarre experience, and what's happened there is still very bizarre, still going the line between it being a work and a shoot. But it was a very fun experience. I was actually about to not go to that show because of Adam Page dropping the title, which hurt a lot as a big fan of his. I was thinking of selling my tickets. My tickets didn't sell, so I decided let me go, and it was a very good decision. It was an excellent show.
I would say, yeah, one of the best Dynamites, and also just, I mean, that's going to be a historical sort of show forever now for that promo. But if I go into how I felt about that promo, I sound like the worst type of person because, well, just because I mean, fine, whatever. I just didn't feel like it accomplished anything good.
Provocative.
like somebody, I heard somebody say this, where is the money? And that is sort of where I'm at with it too. Like, he's a heel. He's supposed to be getting somebody over, and he did neither one of those two things. And that to me was like,
yeah,
he failed at like both of his fucking jobs and threatened to turn the company heel, which is that's the worst idea in the world.
Well, I have, and I don't want to discuss it too much because I don't want to take it too much time, but I kind of have an interesting take on this. I feel like this is not necessarily a face turn. That's sort of a concept that I've come to call heel populism, wherein a heel who is in fact going for nefarious aims gains a populistic attraction with the fans or in the political realm with their constituents by saying certain populist talking points, because some of his talking points aligned with what Hangman was saying about CM Punk prior to him dropping the title at Double or Nothing. So it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. If you look at it just based on those two general goals of a heel, then it failed, but it's still an interesting case study in my opinion. But that actually really wasn't what I called.
I'll agree with you too. Yeah. And there is stuff I know about CM Punk that happened recently that, like, it makes more sense when you know what's going on backstage. So that's all I'll say. Because the person who tells me this stuff.
Yeah, although I waited outside the arena after the show to see who was like walking out of the arena, and CM Punk was actually a very nice guy. Even took pictures with some of the fans, so I'll give that to his credit. I couldn't, in good faith, wearing a Hangman shirt, go up to take a picture of him with him, but I did take one with Darby Allin. Also very nice guy, very much class
couple
act.
goated dudes. You took picture with the two best in the company.
Protect the business too.
Yeah.
Well,
so
what's
what
going
I
on?
wanted to call in about was, a scenario that I had with a dental office that went on way too long, but I found a solution to it that I think will be helpful to a lot of the audience. So I wound up getting on a new HMO dental insurance, and I went into this office last year to get my teeth cleaned. And they wanted to charge me $128 for a cleaning, even though my copay was supposed to be $5. And they told me it was because I needed deep laser cleaning that wasn't covered by insurance. And the interesting part was that I went in there and I asked the dentist, because I was having a little bit of discomfort. I asked her, does it look like I have any kind of infection or if anything's wrong? She's like, no, there's no infection. But then the front desk lady, who you can tell is very condescending, very classist kind of person, was like, no, you have an infection. So she came back in there after the dentist left. The front desk lady came back and diagnosed me with an infection and insisted I have $128 cleaning. And I went ahead and I paid that money, realizing that, the laser's not covered by my insurance. I had waited about a year from the last time I'd gone to a dentist. Now, fast forward to this year, and then I did get told I had a cavity, I needed a filling, and I also got that done. I was also charged way more than what the insurance allows on that, but it's, again, because of this laser. So fast forward to this year, I had a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort in my mouth, so I got an urgent appointment with this dentist. Instead of just examining me and telling me what the pain was from, this dentist insisted on doing another cleaning and another laser cleaning at that, another $128. And then told me, well, you need your wisdom tooth pulled. You need to get this done right away. We have an oral surgeon that comes in only once a month and is coming in on the Saturday before Mother's Day. And then I was hit with a bill for $2,300 to extract 3 wisdom teeth, when under the insurance it was only supposed to be like $300-something. So I got kind of upset with the front desk lady, and I walked away, and I said, I'll call you back about this. And of course I called them back and told them I'm not doing it. But what I did was I filed a written grievance. This is the key part. I filed a written grievance with the insurance plan. If you're in an HMO specifically, in almost all states, and this is almost never utilized, you can file a written grievance with the plan. Mine allowed me to do it online. Some of them make you fill out a form. But you explain basically how they deviated either from the standard of care or from your plan contract. In this case, by having the front desk assistant diagnose me instead of the dentist, deviation from standard of care, and frankly, a regulatory violation, and then also charging me more than what is allowable under the plan contract, meaning the copay or the rate that is assigned under your plan contract. Now, one tip is avoid dental HMO. If you can, avoid getting a dental HMO. Medicaid dental is even better than dental HMO, private dental HMO, because dentists just feel the need to rip you off on these dental HMOs because they don't reimburse enough. My regular dentist didn't take this because these plans really just don't pay out. So if you ever have a choice with your benefits at work, avoid dental HMO. But if you're in this situation of being overcharged by any kind of medical provider, or even if the provider you're assigned to by your HMO, you have any kind of problem with them, file the written grievance, and especially if you've overpaid, because I didn't expect to get the money back from last year. I didn't expect to get anything back from that filling or from that cleaning from last year, or even the cleaning from this year. I just wanted to complain so that other people wouldn't be harmed by these people's tactics, people walking in pain and being told to pay $2,300 a month or $2,300 for the service, and then being told, oh yeah, we can make that $99 a month to try to get you to sign on the dotted line. I just wanted to tell them to solve the problem, but instead I got a letter back a few days ago, and even after I ended my policy with this insurance company saying, we reviewed the situation, the office told us that this was an administrative error, which I call BS on that, and we are going to be having them send you a check for $400 refunding all the money you've paid that is above the amounts that's supposed to be the copay, the $5 for each cleaning, and then the, I don't know, $20, $30 I was supposed to pay for the fillings. So I wound up getting a bunch of money back where I'm supposed to, if these people follow through, I was supposed to get a bunch of money back that I didn't even expect to be coming back. And this process is seriously underutilized. I have a feeling these staff people in these grievance departments don't honestly get that many of these complaints because nobody knows this exists.
There probably isn't an apartment, would be my guess. Is that like it's just people who do other things? Because I've never heard of that in my life. And every money-saving person in the world has called into this show, it seems like. So that is interesting. I had no idea there was any mechanism to get your money back for whatever that, I mean, the laser, I've never heard of the laser cleaning, but I guess it's weird because when I'm at the dentist or the doctor or something, I don't like to ask. I don't like to tell them no. It's a really weird kind of, it's not weird. I mean, it's every other aspect of my life. I'm exactly the same, but I just hate, I'm like, just do it. And then, yeah, you end up just getting ripped off because you didn't take 1 minute to think because somebody that you're trusting as an expert is telling you that you have to get this done.
Exactly. And even if you're questioning them, even if it's like you have bad insurance and they're treating you badly because you have bad insurance, you can go back and you can file a lot of these things and demand a second opinion. And in most cases, they have to then give you a referral to somebody else. And I've done that numerous times with the HMO health insurance. But the thing is that, at least here in California, and I think in most states of the country, they're required to have a designated number of staff members who are supposed to respond to these things. Here in California, if the issue is urgent, like it's going to cause you serious harm to your health, and you designate that on the form, it's a 3-day response time. Otherwise, it's 30 days. And they have to adhere to those timeframes by law. And the government does enforce this. Every single grievance a plan gets and every single appeal of a denial of the plan gets is reported on a report card on the state website here in California. And I think most other states have a similar mechanism for managed care plans. So it is something that's required by law in most jurisdictions, but it's woefully underused. And I imagine that this office, they're paying really high rent. They're in a really nice part of town. I live in a fairly nice part of town. And the only way they've been able to stay open is by ripping off everybody. And this front desk lady is just basically very mean to everybody who questions her. And it's very intimidating. Yeah, it's very intimidating when you're in with people who have professional authority, especially when they almost act kind of threatening to you when they talk to you. But I've kind of learned to do this, and I just want to share that it's not that terribly difficult, and that more people should do it so that for those who, even if you don't necessarily need the money back yourself, so that others, because I saw people and their seniors that were on oxygen that were being taken back to see this dentist, that hopefully they're going to make some changes, because the insurance grievance coordinator wrote on their letter that my complaint is going to be handed to the director of the plan for their review to make sure it's in compliance as well. So I'm hoping that it's not just me that gets helped. I'm hoping that they change. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I feel like these people are going to go back to their old ways if they don't get their plan contract terminated.
Yeah, I mean, that is that's usually how things end up. I mean, if you keep trying to get in, maybe if you keep at it, they'll do something about it, though, is what I would say.
Yeah.
You know, like if they think like it's easier for them to handle somebody who is paying attention rather than we sent you $400. Why are you calling us?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But now, thankfully, I'm done with dental HMOs. I'm never going to enroll in one. The PPO plans pay out better and have a much wider network. If you look at the reviews for all the dental HMO offices, or most of them, you'll find this kind of overcharging thing. It's a pattern. But if there's ever a dispute over laser services specifically, the lady who wrote this letter from the insurance did note that the American Dental Association's current dental terminology says that laser is not supposed to be billed as a separate line. It's not supposed to be a separate service or procedure code. It's considered to be part of whatever the primary service is. So they can't just upcharge you because it's a separate non-covered service by insurance. But I think that explains it pretty well. And this works for both medical and dental. Generally for HMOs is where there's a grievance process, because PPO, you have the built-in choice. There's a little bit of different procedures for each plan. But if you just say the words, I want to file a written grievance, how do I get a form for that? When you're talking to the insurance, they'll explain for you what to do. It may be in your member handbook. And then sometimes state regulators will have guides that are specific to your particular state. But as long as you say those words, I want to file a written grievance, you'll get better instructions, and you'll get to somebody who will actually take the time to, in my case, write a 5-page letter about your complaint and analyze the whole thing.
Nice. Well, Grayson, thanks for calling. I am.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking. Do you want?
Have a good night. Tell people where to find you.
Real quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell people where to find you.
Fixerpunk.com. FIXERPUNK.com. Or the Fixer Punk podcast on all platforms.
All right. Thanks for calling, Grayson. We'll talk to you again some other time.
Thank you. You have a great night.
And I'm going to go pass out and die. We good, Brett?
That was the
done?
that was the Street Fight HR meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, and that's how we end the show now. I'm going to go pass out and die.
Yeah, I want to go. I mean, I have friends that go and chase down. Every time they go to the doctor, by the time they get home, they're already sending an email of like, you need to see if this can be adjusted. You know?
That's smart,
so
though.
It works. People say it works, but not my cup of tea, really. Not what I want to be doing with my time.
Too much work. Too much. But thank you.
Yeah, fight the bastards anytime you can. And have a great night in Street Fight. We'll be back on Wednesday. Twitch.tv/Street Fight Radio. Peace.